right, guys, as you can tell by the title of this video, yeah, I crashed it. But this is the G-Force ZM long-range dual battery bike. It does have 20-inch tires. It has a 4-inch width on that tire, and I wouldn't say it's a trail bike. Some people are calling it a trail bike, but it's not really made to perform on a trail. It does have dual suspension on here. It has a super beastie frame. It rides like a moped or a small motorcycle, and you kind of feel that in the turns. It does have a little bit of limit on the steering right here because of this piece of extra fairing that they built around the front of this battery right here. But one of the reasons I'm going to show you in this video why this is important, because it's not just a piece of plastic that goes over the front of the battery. It's actually a piece of steel that's kind of welded right straight to the front fork. So yeah, it's got a little bit of limit on the steering, but it gives you battery protection up here up front. So in today's video, I lay it down and my batteries came back intact. No damage on the bike. I looked over everything and everything seems to be pretty good, but I have to recommend a good helmet if you're riding e-bikes. This one is big and heavy at 90 pounds. But if you want something for, say, for a bug out bike or something that'll get you way out there, as far as range goes, this one can go up to around 180 miles, which is pretty impressive for a $1,200 bike. But without further ado, let's take this one out, ride it, crash it, trail it, and ride it on the road as well. So here we go. Let's do it. All right, guys, let's go ahead and take the ZM for a spin. We're going to do some on-road and we're going to do some off-road testing. We got some mountain bike trails in our neighborhood. And I'm just going to start out in mode 1. It says it goes 28 miles per hour, this bike. So it's got plenty of speed and up to about 180 mile range, which is pretty good. And right now it's raining a little bit. So we're going to get a little bit of everything in this video. Some wet trail, some pavement. And so, I mean, we could talk about the way this bike rides. This bike rides like kind of like an 80s moped or Honda 80 motorcycle. It does have like a much heavier frame than what I'm used to, but when you're riding it and you're taking it in like tight turns and things, you can feel it. It doesn't have a really wide turn radius, but it really, I feel like this is a much better street bike than a trail bike. I've seen people doing YouTube videos and taking this, you know, down trails and things and saying it didn't perform great on trails. That's because it's pretty heavy and it's not really a lightweight trail bike. But we got some technical rock stuff through right there. Just kind of rolled straight over that. And the hydraulic disc brake worked great downhill. So we got a little bit of an uphill on this trail as well. So we're going to check out how it does. It's about a 30-degree incline right here up this hill. A little bit of technical rock right there. And we're just going to keep cruising. It wants to go fast through here, but I've ridden this bike a bunch. You know, for this review, this is not my first time riding it. I've had this bike for a couple months now. But yeah, the steering feels fine through here. It does have a little bit of a limit on the steering. The way they have it. All right. I'm good. Almost caught the handlebars in the chest. All right, so that was interesting. I was coming through here and I caught a pedal on this hidden rock right here, and it was the perfect rock just to send me over and lay the bike down and me straight this way. I almost caught the handlebar in the chest, but I'm good. So yeah, that's a little bit of a durability test of this bike. It's so heavy, it just freaking laid right down, and I'm just thankful that there's no damage on the bike. I did get a little bit of wear on the pedal right there, but otherwise we should keep riding, you guys. And that is probably a video that you're not going to see out there on this bike so far.
someone actually crashing it and laying it down. A little bit of dirt on that side, but man, this thing is a beast. It is a freaking beast. So again, it's not really a trail bike in my opinion. I may have turned the handlebars a little bit, see if I can get those turned back. Yep, cool. And yeah, 2 batteries on this bike, laying it down. You know, e-bike reviews, man, you can have some distractions when you're riding and you're just not quite paying attention to everything on the trail. Like, trails can be pretty notorious places for just like wiping out. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue on this trail. I'm gonna watch out for the rocks for sure. It's like my maybe my chain's off back here. Yeah, we got the chain off. I'm gonna have to get the chain back on. Just lift that up and back around, sprocket. Chain popped off, that's no problem. All right. And the pedals are good, they didn't get bent. Still trying to give me electric assist, the bike's still on. So we have 7 gears on here, Shimano gears. And right now I'm in 0 pedal assist. So I'm just cruising. All right, so we're just gonna go back through this trail. They got the other side of our trail covered off, but again, like, not a trail bike, definitely not. It does have pretty decent clearance on the bottom, but again, like, if you catch a pedal on one of these tall rocks like this one right here, just hiding behind those little bit of overgrowth right there. Springtime in the trail, so everything's pretty overgrown through here. But you know, the bike wants to go fast through here, but I really should take my time, keep my pedals up. I don't want to lay it down again. But it feels great, man, when you're on the open road with this bike. Again, like, that's where this bike wants to be. I did hit my knee on the side, but we're good. Man, that was pretty crazy. So again, like, I wish that the batteries would connect all into one inside this frame, but apparently they only connect one at a time. So when you're going across town or you're trying to do like a long distance e-bike ride, you have to swap them to be able to access like the second battery in this equation. So that's the only thing about me that I wish was different. I wish it was all wired up through one thing. But I have to also say, I think my LED screen is definitely brighter than what I've seen other people have. I think they upgraded the LED screen because people did complain about that, saying it was a little bit too dim during the daytime. And I can see mine just fine. It's as bright as my iPhone 15, maybe even a little bit brighter, which is cool. But yeah, it's a beast. And so let's talk about, you know, what this bike's purpose is, and I mean, who might want to buy this bike. Let's go ahead and have some final thoughts.
All right, we're back from our crazy ride. Man, I caught that rock really good. But everything on the bike, I looked over the whole bike front to back. Everything is good. It's kind of amazing. Even the front end right here, where I definitely could have broke that light off. Nothing is cracked. Everything on the handlebars, the LED screen, the gear shifter here, everything's good here. And nothing seems to be broken, which is like a Christmas miracle for sure. My batteries are fine. There's no cracks or damage on the battery. It's a little bit of mud on the bottom of the frame and, you know, in the back, as you could expect. But the saving grace of the way I laid this bike down was the fact that it went over on the right-hand side and not the left-hand side. I think if I would have laid it down on the left, that there might have been some damage to the front brake, but there wasn't. My fenders are still even intact as well. And with it raining today, you know, these were great. These are come with the bike. Those are pretty quick to install. And today I really needed them because it's pretty muddy out there. But man, this bike is definitely like a heavy e-bike. It reminds me of riding motorcycles back in the 80s when I was hanging out with my friends and we were doing a little bit of motorcycle tag. Back in the 80s, we used to do crazy stuff like jump ramps. I mean, we did all kinds of crazy stuff. Motorcycle tag. We didn't wear helmets sometimes when we were riding motorcycles and bikes back then either, but we survived. Today, I was riding with my full face helmet. If you're riding one this heavy, I definitely recommend getting a full face helmet. You might think that people think you look stupid, but the first time you crash on something this heavy, it's worth the money, and it's worth the way people look at you when you're riding down the street. Who cares what they think? And it reminded me of the time that I was playing motorcycle tag with my friends. We were racing through the forest trails, and I was running from somebody. I turned around to look back behind me while I was riding my little Honda 80, and this crash, it reminded me of that. It was hitting something super hard, and immediate stop on the bike threw me over as Superman. I hit a stump on my Honda 80, and I hit a stump on the very bottom of the frame. Like the front wheel missed the stump, and you know, the fork just immediately does this, and over the handlebars I went. Same thing with this today. I went pitched over, hit my knee a little bit, scraped up my hands, a little bit of cuts on my hands, not a big deal, but the bike is all good, and that's the good thing. I'm good, the bike's good, and yeah, you know, Generation X, we're built to last, right? So I appreciate you guys watching this review. If you like e-bike reviews, drones, airplanes, RC cars, and all that cool stuff, we do it here, right here on the channel. And as you can see, I'm usually pretty hard on my stuff. So check out the link below for the G-Force ZM. I think it's a pretty cool bike. It is on the heavier side of things, but if you want something that goes up to 28 miles an hour, $1,200, and you can upgrade the batteries to get you about 180 miles, which is pretty crazy. That's a pretty cool choice. But yeah, this one's built to last, as you can see. All right, guys, take care, and I will definitely see you on the next one.